Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Hi everybody, welcome to my random cooking show. My name is Holly Diaz and I'm an assistant director at Residence Life. I am going a little rogue today. I was going to do something with refried beans, but I figured most people know how to put refried beans and cheese into a tortilla, so I'm not going to do that. I think that would not be as fun, but I'm going to do a side dish that you can make with it if you would like. Mine, I always go bigger, so I will let you know some alternatives that you might want to do or that I've done in the past. So let's get started. We will be making chili con queso today. In this time of COVID and quarantine, I find that these dishes are really satisfying, for lack of a better word. Satisfying. So I'm going to tell you what we're using today, and then I'm going to push pause, and then I'll cut things up and put it all together for you. So I like to pull everything out that I need initially, so I know what I'm working with. I have here cheese. A lot of, obviously, chili con queso needs cheese. A lot of recipes call for Velveeta. I'm nothing opposed to Velveeta. It's not my thing. We're a big Tillamook family. So I'll be using Tillamook cheddar and also some Monterey Jack. I think I might throw in some mozzarella too, because why not? It's not going to be bad, and I have it. Really, any cheese will do. Let's be real. It's going to be good. We also have, I have 2 vegetarians, and I'm the meat eater of the family, so I'm going to put meat on the side that I can add to it later, but I'm going to put some red bell pepper in the dish, as well as onion, and to top it off, and some green chilies. To top it off, we have cilantro and green onions. I'll be using chili powder, cumin seed, and some garlic powder, as well as garlic cloves. You don't need all this. I go bigger, so I'll definitely talk you through like what would be probably best to have. Also I know that seasonings can be expensive. When I was younger, I definitely, which might be a little challenge right now with the pandemic, but when things kind of loosen up, there's a lot of opportunities to get bulk seasoning, and it's really inexpensive compared to having it for a pantry. But if you're finding, like, I like to cook a lot of a certain kind of food, Italian, Mexican, there's a couple of staples that are helpful to have. Okay, I'm going to pause you and get some cutting up done. Okay, you are so lucky that you missed seeing me cut up onions. One of my tricks of onions is to survive them is to stick my head in the freezer. So I lost some makeup in that and all of that. I already put the onions in the pot and they're cooking because it is they were killing me. So those are already going. I also have cut up some red pepper and garlic. These are both really great filling options that are not super expensive. In the store, a whole head of garlic is like 80 cents. A red bell pepper can be anywhere from $1 to $1.99, $1.50. You can often find them on sale as well. So I'm going to throw in the red pepper now and get those cooking. I think I decided not to do meat at all. I know I said I was doing that a little bit ago because I kind of want it, but I'm trying also to be conscientious of my family's wants. So this is the point where as you're cooking the onions and any veggies that you want to put in, you don't have to put in veggies. A lot of people would put in ground beef or pork or something like that at this point. But like I said before, I'm not going to do that today. As soon as these have cooked for just a little bit, I am going to be adding the garlic. The garlic usually I put in a little bit later because you don't want that to burn. Burnt garlic is pretty gross. But then I'm going to add the diced green chilies. So I'm going to pause you again and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I added the diced green chilies and the garlic. Give it a little stir. I also forgot to mention that I used a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit, to get this started. I also forgot to mention this is a one-pot meal. So if you could have a pot that you could stick in the oven later, definitely use that and save yourself some dishes. Nobody likes dishes. Or maybe people do, but I don't get those humans. I'm going to grate some cheese while that's cooking and cut up the things to go on top once all of that is done. And I'll be back with the next step. Okay, so we're going to check these yummy veggies and onions. And they are almost where we want them to be. It's a perfect time to add in some seasonings. Again, you don't have to do this, but it's yummy. I'm adding cumin. Also, another trick is to just get a packet of taco seasoning. That'll work too. And probably less than buying, well, it is definitely less than buying all of these things. Garlic powder. We already have garlic in there, but I always like to add a little bit more garlic powder because it's yummy. And this is chili powder. Just a little bit of that because my kiddo doesn't like a whole lot of chili powder. So next what we're going to do is add, I forgot to mention this earlier, some crushed tomatoes. It could be diced tomatoes, it could be fire roasted tomatoes. I heard that's really yummy in it too. I'm using just crushed tomatoes. And then once I get those in, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So I'm going to pause you again while I add that. Okay, so I added the crushed tomatoes. In retrospect, I wish I would have used diced, but you know, it'll work. That's what I had. Also, like any tomato-based thing works, like even just chopped up tomatoes if you have those, or salsa. That's an easy way of doing this part too. You can put salsa in here. You can also add more spice at this point if you'd like. I add a lot more spice later because of my kid, but I like pickled jalapenos, that kind of stuff, or just plain jalapeno. Those are a lot cheaper at the store, 40 cents or so for one jalapeno. Sorry, I keep opening my eyes wide just because the onions, so I apologize. So next we're going to be adding in the cheese. This is Monterey Jack and cheddar, and I'm going to add mozzarella too, just because I have it. There's mozzarella. Again, I don't think any cheese is going to be bad, let's be real. Also, in retrospect, I wish I would have got shredded cheese because it's easier, and sometimes it's cheaper to buy a big bag of shredded cheese, especially if you're doing a cheese-based dish. So I'm going to pause you again as I get back started. All right, as you can see, I added all 3 of those cheeses and I'm stirring it into the pot. And my heat is like a little bit under medium. We don't want it to cook too fast because they'll start burning. And what we're going to do is get all of these pieces melted, and then I'm going to stick it in the oven. So that's why you want a pot that can go on the oven too, if possible. Otherwise, you want to transfer it into an oven-safe dish. So as soon as I'm done with this part that's melted, I'm going to stick this in the oven, and I'm going to work on chopping up a little bit of cilantro and, ooh, I have radishes too, I just remembered. My kid keeps feeding them to the rabbit, which is a little bit annoying, but I am going to cut up cilantro, green onions, and I just realized some radishes, so I'll be back. So, full disclosure, I'm not a baker, and the reason I'm saying that is because I don't like to measure things, which is why I like cooking more than baking. So, if my lack of how much to put in to what is frustrating, I apologize. I'm a wing it cooker for sure. So part of why I'm saying that is as I was looking at the consistency of my queso, it's because I did put too much mozzarella in. Sometimes, I mean, it's not going to taste bad, but it's not as creamy as I would like. Usually my husband makes this better than me. Still going to be good. So I put in, to make it a little bit more creamy, some more cheddar, and I also added, I had feta in the fridge, so I added some feta. I don't suggest you do that. That might be going a little bit too rogue, but I am also almost done cutting up my stuff to go on top, which will be really yummy. So I'm almost done with that. I'm going to put this in the oven here in a second, and I'll be back. Okay, so I put the oven on 400. You'll probably want to do 375. My oven runs a little bit slow at getting warm, so it's down there right now. I'm thinking not long, 5 to 10 minutes, because it's already been cooking on the stove. I also finished cutting up my yummies to go on top. I'm going to serve this with chips, tortilla chips. I also sometimes like to take refried beans and warm them up on the stove and add this over to the top of it, and it's like a bean dip, which is really yummy too. I'm probably not going to do that today because we're doing Taco Lobos tomorrow, and I'm saving my bean intake for tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. It's been many months since I've had Taco Lobos. Very excited. Support local businesses as much as we can. I'm going to start cleaning up a little bit, and when I pull it out, I'll show you the finished product. All right, so our finished product is done. To make it less lumpy, you need to use Velveeta, apparently, or some soft cheese, but it is going to be a little lumpy if you're not using a creamier cheese, and it's going to taste delicious regardless. Here is my finished bowl. Oops, wrong way. So I topped it with green onions, cilantro, and radishes, and I'm going to eat it with tortilla chips. I gotta quit doing that with my eyeballs. That looks weird. Thank you so much for watching, and also remember you can put this on beans and make a really good with refried beans and bean dip, and it's really delicious. And thank you.